Welcome back to part 2. We are discussing the qualifications of guru and disciple. It's a lofty subject matter. I'm hoping that it is understood from the last video that the need for a teacher in spiritual matters is essential. It's a no-brainer. Also, we should now know that there are qualities that a disciple should have in order to make the guru-disciple relationship flourish. First-class gurus are very rare in this world, but there is something even more rare than a qualified guru, and that is a pure disciple. Because we are coming from a land of misconception, from the finite position, we will need to adjust ourselves accordingly. Before, we mentioned the truth movement, which became especially prominent after 9/11. And we also mentioned that the Vedas is concerned with the absolute truth of the higher realm, rather than the relative truths of the material plane. That knowledge holds a superior position to us. With a competitive spirit, one person is trying to dominate another. And it takes the greater person to take the humble position. But we cannot carry this mood in our spiritual journey. We are finite living beings approaching the infinite. The absolute knowledge will not come to serve this lower plane. Rather, we must offer ourselves in service to that higher power and not try to use him in our own selfish way to satisfy our lower purpose. With the correct attitude, we shall seek the plane of real knowledge and receive the standard understanding. Then we can know what is what and have a proper estimation of our environment. This is Vedic culture. Absolute knowledge has always been imparted by this process alone, and never by the intellectual approach. The analogy is given of a bee. There is honey in a sealed jar, and there is a bee sitting on the glass jar. The bee tries to taste the honey by licking the bottle. Just as the bee cannot taste the honey by licking the outside of the glass bottle, the intellect cannot approach the world of spirit. We may think that we have attained it, but that is not possible. A barrier is there, like the glass. So intellectual achievement is not real achievement of higher knowledge. The inductive method, rather than the deductive method, is required. What are those mechanisms? They are faith, sincerity, and dedication. Through these three, we can approach that higher realm and become a member there. So, a candidate must have these three qualifications before he can approach the truth, which is on the higher plane of absolute reality. We can approach the absolute truth only with an attitude of humility, sincerity, and dedication. In the Upanishads, the advice is given that one should not approach the divine master with hesitation or in a haphazard way, but with a clear and earnest heart. In other words, our coming to the spiritual path should be with a one-way ticket. We should think that we have seen everything, that we have full experience of this mortal world, and that we have nothing to aspire after here. With this clear consciousness, we can approach the guru. That is the only way for us to live. Our effort should be earnest. It has been said that, just as a man whose head is on fire, as fast as he runs to a river, with that same urgency, we should come to guru. And how about the qualification of the spiritual master? It is not that any old geezer in saffron robes and a pair of wooden sandals can be guru. The Vedas has written on the qualification of guru and says that three qualifications should be there. Two of these qualifications you can perceive, and the other you cannot see. The first is that the guru is well versed in scriptural knowledge. Essentially, this means that the guru has the ability to remove all doubt from the heart of the spiritual aspirant. A newbie may have some theoretical knowledge, but if he debates with a superior person of another philosophical tradition, he may lose not just the debate, but his weak faith may also be in jeopardy. One, on the intermediate level, can hold his position, but may not be able to establish the superiority of the Vedic tradition, yet his faith will not be adversely affected. Sri Guru, however, is fully realized. He has the potency to remove doubts in others, and he can instill faith in the heart of the disciple. Also, no one will be able to defeat him in debate. Not that it's a competition, mind you. In ancient times, if a philosopher was defeated by another philosophical line, then the defeated person would become a disciple of the superior philosopher. Nowadays, people just try to shut down debate or just argue for argument's sake. They shout one another down, and at best, agree to disagree. The next qualification is detachment. The guru must not have an enjoying mood and be attached to worldly things. Generally we see that a renunciant will live a very simple life with very few possessions. The famous 6 Goswamis of India merely owned a water container and a couple of pieces of cloth. They would sleep under a different tree each night. So, there should be some signs of detachment visible in the lifestyle of the guru. The third quality we cannot assess from our worldly position, and that is that Shri Guru has the quality of being Tattvadarshi. That means he has realized the absolute truth. So for example, if I read a book about China and then tell you all about that country, then you may learn something. If however I have been in China and I have just returned from there, and I tell you about the culture and the people and the food and music, it will be a higher experience. In the same way, when the realized master, who has seen that truth, speaks on transcendental matters, this is a real help to the spiritual aspirant. Swami Sridhar explains that the guru must have some spacious graphic knowledge. He must have extensive knowledge about the revealed truth. And he must always be practicing real spiritual life. His activities are all connected with spirit, not with the mundane world. He is concerned with Brahman, the spiritual plane which can accommodate everything, the fundamental basis of everything. Not that he is leading his life with any mortal, mundane reference. He always lives in the transcendental plane and keeps himself in connection with that plane, his whole life. Whatever he does, he will do, only with that consciousness. This is the opinion of the Upanishads. In our present condition, we are misguided, we are in illusion. Our understanding of the environment is based on a completely misconceived set of ideas and thoughts. We have no proper conception of anything, in the absolute sense. Our ideas are all relative. Provincial selfishness has been imposed on the environment, and we are living under that misconception. When one, in a very real sense, realizes the transient nature of this world, and that everything will vanish, then, with that mood, he will feel the necessity of approaching the guru, the divine guide and preceptor, and will inquire from him as to his highest good. With this inquiry, he will approach the spiritual master. And who will he approach? He will approach one who is not only well versed in the precepts of the revealed scriptures, but who has also come in contact with the revealed truth. One who is conversant with the very object of the scriptures, and who has practical experience, who is established in pure consciousness. He is a genuine guru. One should approach such a guide for his own relief, to understand what is the highest benefit in the world, and how to attain it. This is necessary. It is real. It is not imaginary. At the same time, it is difficult. The absolute truth must be sought out through a genuine process, otherwise we shall go the wrong way and then say, oh, there is nothing here, it is not real. So, only if we follow this real process of understanding the truth will we experience the real nature of divinity. Foshizzles, my nuzzles, that should do it for this introduction into the guru-disciple relationship. I hope you got something from it, and I'll see you on the next one. Tat. Sat.